It's Hembree's 100% Music Podcast. We're still looking for a sponsor, still seeking our first one.
I think we just found one, Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg's Gin and Juice, a miscellaneous cocktail that we found in a mystery bag.
Well, guys, it's a holiday season. We just played the first ever Hembree's Holiday Hang down at the Hotel Cafe, place near and dear to Eric's heart, and figured why not kick this thing off with a little festive vibe, a little Christmas holiday spirit.
Well, tell them how we opened our set. How did we open our set?
With a Christmas classic, Bruce Springsteen's rendition of Santa Claus is Coming to Town. I'd say we crushed.
Classic. Yeah, look, it sounded really great from the videos I saw of it. We kind of threw that together, and I have to say, yeah, you nailed the beginning dialogue. I think that might be my favorite part of the song is Bruce goes on this Christmas rant before they start the song, and we just love that part. I think that's our favorite part of the song for sure.
I feel like our rendition was about as good as the Bruce rendition.
Yeah,
which
I don't
doesn't
know if that's
translate that well on recording.
The best part of the Bruce rendition is, I don't know that I've ever heard before, a famously released song where they break up, they crack up in the middle of the song.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic to hear. You tell they're having fun, and I think we had fun too.
Oh, I had a blast. If there's any song or any other band that could crack up and have it on their record, it might be us, who could get away with laughing over their
just
songs.
us and Bruce Springsteen. That's it.
Bruce, if you're listening, and we know you are, we'll duet next year at the second annual Hembree Holiday Hang.
That's right.
What songs should we have played in addition to Santa Claus is Coming to Town?
I think growing up, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer was always a childhood favorite of mine. But as I've gotten older, I'm going to go with Wham! Last Christmas.
Yeah, Rudolph. That's a real great song about discrimination.
Yeah, there's a lesson. Exactly. Wham! is a classic, and I feel like it's been covered to death, dare I say, by a lot of bands, but I still enjoy it every time. One of my favorite covers, Jimmy Eat World, does a cover of Last Christmas.
Yeah, that is a great one. Rendition. It just has that the curse of being so good that it gets played so much that you get sick of it. It's not really the song's fault.
You know what song it is the fault that it gets played so much, and I don't enjoy it is, I bet you can guess.
Mariah Carey?
Mariah Carey.
Yeah, All I Want for Christmas Is You. I mean, this is my thing. I feel like every song has a limit. Every song, there's an amount of times you can hear it before you hate it.
Max capacity.
And there's no song that it's infinity. It's it's either 1 to 100 to 1,000 times where you're just going to get sick of that song. And I think that's what happens during Christmas is you hear the same songs over and over year after year. And it is really special when you have those ones that you still love after hearing them your whole life.
Do you have one that you still love?
Yeah, I do actually. I think this is a pretty easy one for me. I think it would be John Lennon, Yoko Ono, Happy Christmas, War is Over. And it's just such a cool song. It's so haunting for a Christmas song. I mean, I guess there are some songs that are kind of like that. So that's a song I don't get sick of.
And that's John Legend and Yoko Ono.
Yeah, that's right. An unlikely duo.
Two vocal powerhouses.
Yeah. What do you got, Isaac?
Well, I was also thinking Wham! Because it is just such a good... It's like somehow like an indie pop song with all the synths and, So I was thinking that, but Austin took it. I'm going to go with one that's way overplayed, but it rips. Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Dude, it is a ripper.
Dun, 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 dun.
It's a ripper. That was on the radio in the car the other day, and I caught the back half of it, and I really just took it in because it's one of those that it's wallpaper. You can just let it wash over you, not really pay attention. If you kind of like Hotel California, but if you really listen to it and dive in, you're like, man, that is a special song. The guitar tones. Oh, tone for days.
So that song, if you're an 11-year-old boy during Christmas time, that song's getting you juiced.
Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
And then, do you have a fave, Al?
Yeah. The Waitresses, Christmas rapping, 100%.
Love Christmas rapping.
I would say the one I can't listen to is just, it's so uncomfortable to listen to is Baby It's Cold Outside, the lyrics where he's locking her in the house and won't let her leave.
That was mine too, actually, so we can double down on that one.
Double
that
Baby.
Is a very, very cringy song.
She's like, I would really love to go home. You can't, you shouldn't
baby,
leave. No.
Baby, it's cold outside.
Maybe don't.
We're in the age of consent right now, and that song does not pass the test.
It does not
pass the test of time. We need to retire that song immediately.
That one's been retired. Austin, do you have a Christmas song that you just cannot stand?
I love all Christmas songs, but they did update the lyrics to that.
I love all of them.
Officially.
Oh, they did.
For Baby It's Cold Outside?
Did the government do that?
2 years ago, I forget. I think it might actually be John Legend. I'm not making this up. Put out a rendition, and they updated all the lyrics to where she's like, I really should go. And he's like, okay. okay. I think that's okay. You know, and he like updates all the lyrics to make it very consensual.
Okay, I approve of
Tim
that
singing,
version.
and then it's like Chrissy Teigen yelling at their servants.
Yeah, basically.
Just a little more
yeah.
modern
All right, so
update of that.
Hembree approves of the consensual version of "Baby It's Cold
We're
Outside."
going to be doing our own version of that next
Yeah.
year. I think my least favorite Christmas. I just can't. I saw Mommy kissing Santa Claus underneath the mistletoe. I don't know any version. Song's whack.
Stupid songs.
It's
Stupid
another weird
song.
one. Another weird one. Now that it's Christmas, that does kind of wrap up the year 2024. A big year for Hembree, ladies
Huge
and gentlemen.
year.
We dropped our third LP, full-length LP, Better Days.
Buy it in the link below.
Buy it in the link. Smash subscribe. Buy it in the link
Smash the
below.
link here.
Boys, how's the reception been? How's everybody feel just a few months removed from the release of Better Days?
Just like anyone releasing music this day and age, everyone's like, I think it's good. I think it's fine. It's out there. It's been great. I think our fans really like the record. We sold a lot of vinyl on the road, which was really nice. And it's been surprising and kind of cool and validating to see which songs have really resonated with people. The title track, Better Days, top streaming song, wasn't even a single contender. So
Unexpected.
unexpected. That's been kind of cool. It's kind of an underdog record.
Did it change our lives? No.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Will it change our lives? Yes.
Maybe,
Yeah.
potentially.
In 2025.
Yes.
You know, it's just steady growth these days.
Yeah.
But it's a good forward trajectory that we're on here. So no complaints really. Do you guys have favorite songs from this record to play live?
Pain and Passion has been an unexpected favorite. That was one that I was real curious about how we were going to pull that one off live once it was recorded, and I'm really liking the live version we're doing.
Live version is
It's
ripping.
both somehow more stripped down and a little more raw, but also embellishes a little more in parts that are in the song that you aren't necessarily the forefront, but we emphasize them live. Yeah, I think it's a fun one to play.
I feel the same way about another song on this album, almost the same reasons you do, but it was a song that was a single, and that's Wonderful Life. And that was one that I felt like was like a strong single, but was not one of my favorite songs on the album personally. But then when we started playing it live, I really feel like that song just came to life. And especially hearing some live recordings we've done of the song, it just feels great to play, and it's been sounding really, really great. It's been a lot of fun, and there is just an element of playing music live, or just something about it where, you know, there are some songs on here where I prefer the recording of it. That song, I just think live, there's just a special energy to it that even though the recording is great and I love the recording, that song's really growing on me. I feel like the live version of that really elevates it quite a bit.
It's elevated for sure.
And for those of you in the know, we've had two, I feel like, very distinct iterations of the live version of Wonderful Life. We began a version of it as a 5-piece, playing it pretty faithfully to the recording, and now the latest version that we're playing is a little more stripped down and rocking.
a
Just
little
raw.
more Love Shack.
A little more Love Shack.
Austin, what about you, my man?
Yeah, I'm looking at the list. It sounds like we're in a
Trash compactor?
no, I'm envisioning us in this like hole of an abandoned skyscraper that they're tearing down, and we're like in the middle of the hole, and they're like pulling out metal chunks
Feels
around us.
definitely like an electrical smell I'm getting.
Yeah,
too.
we're in a tanker
This
in the
feels
middle
like,
of Dunkirk.
This probably sounds like the most LA podcast. Like we're in the heart of the
The
city.
most LA podcast.
You know what else reminds me of? It's when in Star Wars when they're in the trash compactor and there's like
exactly.
that
Yeah,
little
yeah.
snake
It's
swimming
exactly
around in the
what it is.
water.
Yeah.
It's like 3PO,
We're literally smelling
3PO.
burning rubber right now.
Oh,
We
it
can see
smells like
asbestos in the air.
C-3PO's melting down
As
right
we're
now.
watching a house be torn apart by a bulldozer 40 feet away from us.
Is that Pocha?
If you're
They destroy
only
it.
That's
if
the
you're
restaurant.
only listening to this, you're not watching any video. Just imagine we're all in hard hats, but we're naked for some
We're
reason.
super jacked.
We're real jacked. We're naked, and we're in the middle of a trash compactor skyscraper.
If the
Anyways.
microphones aren't picking up all of the construction
Oh,
sound,
I think
I bet they are.
Let me tell you, they are. I'm gonna go with "Money Time Love," track 1.
Hot track.
It's a blast to play live. It's very fast and high energy, which I think gets the band and crowd into it pretty quickly. And as a band, it's fun to open with it because then it's like a piece of cake after that because it's the fastest song we do. We come in hot and hard, and then we just kind of ease it down from there.
It's a deceptively difficult drum part.
It is, yeah.
You
It's
know,
very
to keep that tempo
It's a
up.
high, fast tempo, but it's a good way to start the set. Keeps the energy up, and it's a fun one to play live.
Yep, and like Austin said, the Hembree motto is we come in hot and hard.
Hot and hard,
That's right,
and
baby.
then we
And
take
that's
it
what we're
down.
doing when we're wearing our construction outfits and we're totally nude. Okay, well, everybody picked different records. It's really clanking around. The construction crew's working hard here on our new studio that we're building for 2025. All of our podcast money.
studio is getting
Yeah,
built right
yeah.
now.
Sorry, guys. You're going to have to just deal with it. But you're going to love the looks of the new spot. Well, I picked a different song than you guys, so that's good. I picked ATM. Recently brought back to life. We
Unretired.
revived this bad boy at Hotel Cafe the other night with our good friend Samson Hellerman of the band Ripe. And again, I like how we embellish on it. I like how Alex and I do a little Allman Brothers inspired dual guitar solo at the end. I don't know if we're playing as well as the Allman Brothers, but it's inspired by them for sure. So
That is maybe one of the few songs off the record that we cannot play live without 5 people
Yes.
on
Yeah.
stage.
That is a thing with this band. We've kind of gone through a big transition here of kind of figuring out how we've been playing these songs as a 5-piece for so long and then making them work as a 4-piece. And there's obviously some difficulties on that. And there are some songs that we feel like sound really, really great. And then there's some songs that we just feel like we haven't, in practice, haven't been able to do them justice. And ATM was one of those songs. So we brought a friend on there to help us out with that. And it was so much fun to play it
sometimes
again.
you just got to bring a friend into the mix. And we got a lot of friends, and we toured a ton this year.
Yep.
Made a lot of friends, a lot of new friends. I'm repping Juice, our good friends Juice.
I'm repping corn over here.
We made friends with them.
I'm repping Collective Soul.
Waiting to make friends with them.
Austin and I came in from the wrong decade for this episode.
No, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to
Okay.
be.
So let me ask you boys, since we're doing the year-end special here, we did favorite song on the record. Do you have a favorite show of 2024 that sticks out to you?
I'm gonna go all the way back then. I think the Ripe tour, which is the most recent tour we did, was probably the most fun tour we've had in a very long time. They're good buds of ours. We had a blast. All the shows are great. Like, you really couldn't go wrong with that tour. It was a front to back great tour. But favorite show, I'm going to have to throw way back to last February, Juice Troubadour. It was my birthday. Packed show.
Legendary.
I got to sing lead vocals alongside Will Forte on a Billy Idol cover, and
and my dad.
is that not just the best show I think for everyone? Come on, it was a beautiful night, the highlight of my life.
That's a top 5 show of all time for me. I would have named that as well, but
It ain't,
that was your birthday.
5 or 4 or 3 for me. It's agreed. Yeah, great choice. Great choice.
great show.
I guess if you're gonna go with that one, because that is a very hard one.
That's a hard one to
top. I have to go. With my heart here. We played Lawrence, Kansas, Isaac in my hometown, and hometown shows are always very, very special. And this one was so special because we got to include our favorite pizza place in it. We ordered Pizza Shuttle onto the stage. Our friends,
got a
Flash
video of that.
Floods,
We'll
Creature
put that out
Comforts,
soon.
played great sets to open for us. All our friends and family were there. That was such a fun show, and that's one I'll never forget as well.
What kind
for
of
different
pizza?
reasons.
I never asked. I didn't get a slice. What kind of pizza was ordered to the stage?
Lawrence, Kansas's favorite, the cream cheese capital of the world. Cream cheese pepperoni. Cream cheese.
It's a lot of cheese. A lot of cheese up there. I got
Cream
one.
cheese.
I was able to snag one piece because we put it out into the crowd, and that they demolished it like in maybe
Wild animals,
like
man.
piranhas out there. They demolished that pizza. Playing Lawrence is always very, very special for me.
And then I'm going to go with another one of our favorite places to play. We talk about it all the time. I'm going to go with Alternating Currents at the Raccoon Motel.
Great show.
It was one of Garrett's final shows. Everyone was in great spirits because it was just all out in the open that our boy was moving on to,
Bigger, better things.
Bigger and better things.
Better days.
Better days.
Better days. And Eric Hillman, dear friend of the band, co-produced a ton of songs, was in the house as well. And then you could not get in the door to the venue of the Raccoon Motel. It was so packed and people were just going crazy. One of those the floor is shaking shows. So that was an all-timer for me. And
Not to steal or change my answer, but to piggyback off of the Raccoon Motel, we did play a second show there this year, or maybe probably more than that. Doesn't matter. We got to open up for a band called Phantom Planet.
That was great.
and that was my second favorite show of the year. Our performance, we did fine. We did great. Whatever. Phantom Planet plant blew the roof off, and it was amazing to be able to play, to be in the room and make friends with them, and like be
Awesome
in this
guys.
energy on this kind of a one-off random show for them, and they played one of their best albums, and so that was also a special show. So Raccoon Motel.
Raccoon
really
Motel is very
bringing it this
special for
year.
a band from Kansas City that lives in Los Angeles. I think we've said it before. We'll say it again, but we have a second home. I guess it'd be a third home at this point in Davenport, Iowa, of all places. They treat us so well, and we always have such an amazing time there.
What's your
Shout
favorite show of the year?
out. Favorite show of the year? This is a tough one. I'm going to say, for sentimental reasons, night number 2 of our 2 sold-out shows at the Crossroads Hotel Rooftop in Kansas City. Night number 2, I felt like we were just significantly tighter. We'd worked out the kinks of the night before that. We were playing a bunch of new songs we'd never performed live before, and it happened to be Garrett's last show where he made the announcement that he was leaving the band. It was very sad, very emotional, but also very joyful. We had so many friends on stage joining us for the show. That was a very special one.
Yeah, Lucas Parker was ripping
Oh,
all
my
night.
Lord.
It was just a joy. One of the best guitar players in the world on stage with us. That was so much fun. No, I think these were all the best choices. Yeah, I was going to have a special shout out on the Ripe Tour because we played in Petaluma the day after the election.
That was going to be my call out
This was
as well.
a very, very emotional show for us and for Ripe and for the people in the audience. And it was a very kind of sad, dark day, but we all came together through live music, and it was like therapy for the audience, for the bands, for everyone working. And I wouldn't say it was my favorite show, but it was a very special show and a show I'll never forget for that reason.
It was an incredibly cathartic night
Yes.
that kind of reminded you, music does transcend bigger problems, and it brings people together. And I think that show, for me, made me realize like how important music is and what we're doing, you know?
Yeah, and doing stuff like this, like the podcast, it's important stuff.
Really
But no,
important.
that show was pretty magical.
Because I think nobody there wanted to play a show that night. Nobody there wanted to get up on stage.
And a lot
but
of
we
people
did
did not want to go to the show.
It
Shout out
was-
to the
yeah.
people who climbed out of their houses and actually drove over for it. And
Yeah, I think there was a couple people celebrating though too that
Oh,
night, but we don't need to talk
probably.
about that. There were good people on both sides there that night. Okay, there were good people from both sides of that venue that night.
All that to say, we spent a lot of time in the van traveling this year, which was a blast, and we spent a lot of that time in the van listening to music, new and old. Thought it'd be fun to quickly look over because everybody talks about Spotify and the algorithms, our Spotify Wrapped, to see how accurate it was to what we were all listening to this year.
Okay, why don't you start
I'll
off?
tell you, okay, my
mine's
number
pulling
one,
up right here.
I looked at it just a moment ago. My number one artist, and it was somewhat correct, I bet you, was Pearl Jam, who put out a fantastic record
Great
this
record.
year. Number 2, though, was Green Day, Saviors, the record. I think I listened to it once in the van with you guys. So I'm not entirely sure why the algorithm has that as like my number 2 most played record and
saying
artist.
there's a glitch? You're not listening to Green
I
Day
don't
on
know.
loop?
Number 3 was Hembree.
Woo!
That's I would say probably because I listened to the songs a ton to rehearse them, throwing off the algorithm.
Always practicing.
Always
Been
practicing.
practicing real hard.
Yep. Number 4 was Stone Temple Pilots,
STP?
which I listened to maybe once in preparation for our grunge episode, and then St. Vincent, which adds up.
That adds up. Hembree was definitely one because I was learning all the songs from the new record, and I also mixed the record, so I like to see how it stacks up against the other stuff. And it's also a banging record,
It's
so
a great
who cares?
record, man. Don't be ashamed.
Post-Sex Nachos was 2, another record produced by me. The narcissism is showing here.
Great record from the Post-Sex Nacho
Great
Boys.
record by the Nacho Boys. Then I had like Taylor Swift.
We did do that cover of Taylor Swift. Did you listen to that?
I
Maybe
listened
a
to
few times
Delicate,
when you were
probably.
trying to work on the song. I actually would not. That doesn't surprise me that she would be
Could
up there.
explain Matchbox 20.
Oh, there you go.
There's
There you go.
Matchbox 20's in the
cover.
top 2.
Another cover we did. So you have to listen to that a lot.
That will skew
Normal
the
song.
algorithm.
Yeah,
will
and
skew
then
it,
I
which
think
is
I had
why,
a normal like Talking Heads or something like that.
All right, so my top one right here is King Creosote. I've never. Does anyone listen to that? Wait,
I
what?
don't even know what he said.
King Creosote? I think I've heard of that, but I've literally never listened to that in my life.
Say your top artist again.
King Creosote. It's King.
Are you sure you're on Spotify?
Oh yeah. It seems like it.
Creosote.
Yeah, seems like it.
Click them.
Let's see. I've got Bruce Hornsby in the Range.
Okay, that checks
tight.
out.
That I got into a real Bruce Hornsby
Love
phase
Hornsby.
earlier this year. Listening to a lot of that, there was a big influence on my piano playing. I played a lot of piano on better days, a lot of real piano, and I was listening to a lot of Bruce Hornsby. I think he's the best piano player in the entire
Put some
world.
real chords in these songs.
Oh, absolutely! I love what he does with chords there. I've got the Traveling Wilburys.
Oh, that's amazing.
I think like you. I think I listened to that album maybe once or twice this year. Don't know
pops
why
up.
it's in the top. Muna is up there.
Nice.
Great
Great
band.
M-U-N-A?
Yep. Great band there. Los Angeles band.
Yep.
That I really loved their record. Really excited to see what they do next. What do you got, Austin?
Well, I don't know how to find my top artists. I just searched again, and I'm only getting top songs.
Yeah, that
here's
works
my top
too.
songs.
Freak on a Leash.
Number one, Dancer from Idol's newest album.
Checks
Not
that album.
surprised. Dirty Work, Steely Dan.
Great album.
Wow.
Or song.
Yeah, great. Big Time Nothing, St. Vincent, also phenomenal album, which probably would have been top artist as well. Then back to Idols for Gift Horse, another amazing song. And then Running, Pearl Jam.
Great
off
song.
the new one. And this is number 6, but Medication Queens of the Stone Age, which is about 15 years old, but it's still a great song.
Because you probably had it on when you ran a half marathon. I bet that was on your running list
I
multiple
think
times.
most of these were
on the
that.
on the
Yeah.
list.
You can tell by the music we listen to which ones of us work out and which ones of us don't.
That's so true.
Yeah, well, that's true. Mine, Spotify is mainly used at the gym, so it's
Yeah.
like all rock songs.
So we're gonna build a year-end playlist of our favorite stuff. Were any of those you just mentioned on that list, Austin?
On
Your 5 picks for the playlist?
No, I'm looking at it.
No, I think I might have had a different St. Vincent song on there, maybe a different Idol song.
You guys want to jump into that right now? It feels
Yeah.
like that feels like a natural segue to start talking
Perfect
about
segue.
our favorite songs of the year. This is what Spotify thought our favorite stuff was. Now let's tell
Spotify's
the
way
listeners and viewers what our actual favorite songs were
Just goes to
this
show
year.
Spotify might show you what you're technically listening to, but it's not hearing what's playing in your heart.
Well, also, you were big on the AI DJ.
Oh,
this
that
year?
threw it off significantly.
like,
DJ
"Yo."
Xavier,
Yeah,
DJ X. He'll make a playlist for you, but you won't be happy about it. Okay, we are going to build a playlist of our favorite songs of the year for all of our listeners. We'll throw a link up somewhere, likely on the
Instagram?
We'll figure it out.
Here.
Isaac, tell us
Yeah,
your
we can-
fave songs of the year.
Fave songs of the year. I liked the new record by Will Dorado a lot. We've played with those
Ooh,
guys a
yeah.
couple times. It's really good. It's a bit alt country, but still indie rock. And I think Max is a great writer. I liked the song Higher Than Most a lot by Will Dorado. Then you're going to hear a song from an up and coming artist, Taylor Swift, So High School. I just really liked it. It was
Is this
like
from the new record?
from the new record, Tortured Poets Society. I mean, I'll just say this much. It's clearly about Travis Kelce, so it was really targeting me, a big Chiefs fan.
We also write a lot of songs about Travis Kelce.
Yeah, definitely. And it was also a sick 90s guitar riff produced by one of the Desner brothers from The National, so it had that sort of energy. And the lyrics, something full throttle, touch me while your bros play Grand Theft Auto. And I just was picturing Chris Jones over at the house. Maybe, Chris Jones and Isaiah Pacheco are hanging out, and they're just playing some GTA, and Travis and Taylor maybe making out in the corner. And I was like, this
Patrick's
rocks.
on the phone with Brittany in the
Exact-
back.
exactly.
Yeah, I was mad about something.
That was kind of the energy I was getting from it, and I just it kind of spoke to me. I was just picturing them in Leawood, Kansas, having a little house party, man. So I went with that. Then I will say I like to listen to a lot of music made by people that we have had a connection to or worked with in some capacity or are genuine friends of ours. So I went with Illuminati Hotties Can't Be Still. Sarah Tudson, amazing producer, amazing
You guys have
writer.
worked with her before, right?
Yeah, Sarah worked on some early Hembree stuff. She's amazing, has gone on to do Boy Genius and just amazing records as Illuminati Hotties. So I love that song. And then I'm kicking it back to the 90s in present day. A lot of Pearl Jam talk on this podcast. I thought Dark Matter was an absolute rock banger of the year.
I gotta say, would any of us have expected to enjoy a new Pearl Jam record in 2024?
Not at all.
And we've been cranking that sucker up pretty regularly in the van, and it rips.
It absolutely
it's
rips.
one of their strongest records in a long
Eddie
time.
Vedder sounds amazing on it. When I start working out, that's going to be on the playlist.
Hell yeah. On a
And-
loop.
Track
on
one.
loop. And then Damages by our friends Foreign Fields. dear friends of Hembree. And then Classical by Vampire Weekend, they put out a new record. I thought the production was amazing, super ambitious. Big fan of
Did anybody
Ariel
have
Eckstein's.
the new Vampire Weekend on their, I know we're going to discuss maybe like one or two of our favorite records of the year. Did anybody have that as their top?
It was up there for me.
Oh yeah, I don't know. It wasn't probably not my top, but it would be my top 5 for sure.
I
Great,
thought-
great album.
I love it when artists and I don't even want to call them a legacy artist because they're our age. They're not like a Pearl Jam, but they've been around for such a long time, and I feel like this new record was such a swing. It was an experimental record. To me, none of, and I mean this is a backhanded compliment, none of the songs really stand out as singles, but taken as a whole, it's like this perfect art piece of weird production and vibes, and I really love that record.
Yeah, it was up there for me.
I thought it was nice. They went back a little bit. Like I loved Father of the Bride. Father of the Bride. Great album, but very sunny, very pop, very, right in your face, simple. Where this one kind of went back to like Contra era and a little more challenging,
a little more cerebral,
a little more thought into the production and making it a little weird and groundbreaking. But yeah. Vampire Weekend. Now we're
Vampire
side
Weekend.
tangent.
Let me
Great
tell you
album.
this. Are you guys shocked there are 4 millennials sitting on a couch
Talking about
with
Vampire
beers
Weekend.
talking about how good Vampire Weekend
we
is?
all look like Vampire Weekend.
We
And
might be
talking about,
joining.
Pearl Jam is so good, man. Vampire
Hey,
Weekend.
but Taylor Swift, baby, she's on my list.
Breaking up the dude party here a little bit here. I'm going to start off hot right now with not just what I think was one of the best songs of the year, but I think was actually one of the best songs of this entire century. It's the end of the year right now, and we've heard this song to death, and we're all a little bit sick of it, but you people are going to have to get used to it because you're going to be hearing this song until the day you die. It is Good Luck Babe by Chappell Roan, and I just think it is such a special track. It is one of those songs that is just, it transcends like humanity. Everyone loves it. It just, there's something about it that just grabs you. I hear it just echoing down streets. It's on, you turn on the radio, it's there. It's on everyone's playlist. It's such a fun song. I think every second of it is perfect. I would put it up with any pop song that has ever been written, and it stands up. I think she's truly a special talent that will just be around forever.
One thing we can guess about Chappell Roan is that she would love 4 white dudes
just
talking about and singing her
gassing it up.
praises right now.
I think what's great about it is it's such a pop top 40 song, but it has so many great like natural sounds too. I have a list of songs in my phone of absolute perfect songs. That one is on the list, but I could do a whole episode about that song, but I'm going to move on to...
We're going to let you do one solo.
I'm going to go very, very opposite here with a very small, relatively unknown band out of Austin, Texas that we discovered. We stumbled into at South by Southwest.
I've got it on mine too.
We're going to all share this one.
Triple Pete.
They put out an album called Strange Bird, and their name is Font. And
Font period, I think, is how you'll find them online.
And then they but there was one song that stood out above the rest on that album, on a fantastic album that's called Hey Kekule. I've listened to that song probably more than any song I've listened to this year. I'm obsessed with it. Really, really cool new band. Getting a lot of hype from Pitchfork, and all the cool people seem to think they're cool.
Yeah,
and
everyone thinks Pitchfork's cool.
but seriously, getting a lot of good reviews. It feels like they're making important music, and that's
it is
awesome.
rad. It's really good.
A good big victory for dude bands.
And we needed that. We needed that.
And I'm gonna kind of charge through these last 3 and give you guys a chance to start talking about your stuff. I went with Shahiro by Billie Eilish. I love that track. Also, Chihiro, the main character of one of my favorite movies, Spirited Away. That song was for me. I'm gonna go Apple by Charlie XCX. It's another major hit. Really, really cool 80s feel, mix of that hyper pop sound of hers. Really, really cool album altogether. And then my last one, I'm gonna throw it out to some buds. Growing Old by Post Sex Nachos, produced by my guy Isaac
Hot
Flynn
track.
over here.
Hot
Great
track.
fantastic lyrics, amazing vocal delivery from Sammy. Great band.
All right, well, let's just keep this thing rolling here. I'm going to come out with a bang with Brittany Howard. What
yeah.
now? She had a great solo album. It's very experimental. It's weird. It's all over the place, but the lead single is definitely just a straight up the wall alternative indie rock song, and it's a banger. I also had Font, so we don't need to go into more detail about Font.
Tell me more about the sound.
I'll just say, though, that the album as a whole, it's an album, but it's 7 songs. So I'm going to long EP. great front to back. Like every song is a standout song, so definitely give the whole EP a listen. Probably my number one song of the year would be the Smile Zero Sum. I mean, come on. It's Tom York and Johnny Greenwood. What do you expect?
That was close to making the list for me too.
It was on my list. I took it off because I thought you were saying it. That was one Austin sent the link to it to me and to our friend Derek. I listened to it. We all wrote back. Within the span of a couple minutes, we all used the phrase next level. Like, it's just a next level song. They're 2 steps ahead of everybody with what they're doing.
They're always next level for sure. And it's funny, that's one of those songs that you send to musician friends, and then they're always a little upset because it's like, how are we ever supposed
to top this
achieve
or match
anything
this
in music when you have people like this doing these next level things and always pushing the
impressive
envelope?
they've been able to do it for 30 plus years.
Yeah, and they put out 2 albums in the same year, I think this year. The Smile did, not Radiohead, but either way, we're moving on. And then I'm going to go with Lily, which is a band out of L.A., great young rock band, but the song in particular, Swallow, off their new EP, is just a banger. Great EP, great band. Highly recommend. And then moving along, I'm going to end with St. Vincent Broken Man, who, speaking of pushing envelopes, St. Vincent always comes out with something new and fresh, and her new album was just a balls-to-the-wall rock album, and Dave Grohl on drums, self-produced, yeah.
Oh, yeah, she produced it. Yeah.
And Broken Man was the first single off of that, and that was one of those, when I heard it for the first time, you're like, oh, man, she just knows what she's doing.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, you can't ever doubt St. Vincent.
Ever.
She's just the best. That's it.
That's a fantastic list of songs, Austin. I'm going to throw this one out. Kings of Leon, Mustang.
Hot song.
Great song.
I think I like to dog on Kings of Leon, but they're good for at least one ripper per album in the last 10 years, and Mustang was just balls to the wall, sick little tune. I had Rubble Bucket, tied. They put out 2 singles this year, Moving Without Touching and Rattlesnake.
Super awesome band.
That's such a sick band.
Underrated for sure.
Yes.
Very good band. Good funky vibes. This might be their most dancey record, and I really enjoyed those 2
They've
songs.
been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
Consistently good, super cool, well known, but deserve more acclaim, I would say.
Fell in love with a band called Ginger Root. It's an artist who is doing kind of like a modern take on Steely Dan yacht rock, but it's also like experimental, lo-fi, funky. He put a song out called No Problems that I really dug. A band called Elbow. That's a legacy band that's been around since the early 2000s. We've listened to this one in the van, the whole record. Fantastic record. A song called Blue that I really love. And then I'll end with a band out of the UK called Kid Capici.
Oh, yeah.
Who
You've been into that.
They're back to doing that early 2000s, like Block Party, Does It Offend You? Yeah, Franz Ferdinand, European dance rock. And they have a song called Get Down that was just the funniest, lyrically the funniest and most aggressive song I heard all year. I loved it.
You guys, with the year coming to an end, you have any predictions? Where music is heading? Country music's real hot right now. Is it going to stay? What's next? Is alternative rock coming back?
Country music had a huge year. None of us had any overtly country songs on our playlist. Is that an intentional reason, or is it just a blind spot for us?
Yeah, obviously I appreciate it and I enjoy it, but it's honestly the same for me. None of us had, I don't think any of us had any hip hop on it either. It's just not our wheelhouse, really. I mean, I respect and I appreciate both genres of music and the skill of it, and I'm glad it connects with people and it exists, but I'm definitely more drawn to, alternative rock, indie rock, and then just straight up pop music.
The country record that was the biggest for me, and now it's relatively old, but was the Casey Musgraves album from 2018. Then that crossed over into the stratosphere.
I think there's a common thread here that I'm noticing is I feel like there is a hunger for more natural sounding
Genuine,
music. Yeah, for
organic
real
music.
Instruments. And that's the one thing that country always has done is it's you got your acoustic guitar, real drums, guitar solos, real musicianship in all of those albums. And I respect that so much. And I feel like that is my prediction is that there will continue to be an appetite for human sounding music, and country does that so well.
This might be the only time we'll ever say country's a little ahead of the curve on that one.
It's ahead of the curve.
No, all the respect to a lot of the really, really cool, country and Americana artists out there.
Carrie Underwood,
Keith Urban.
I love the Sunday Night Football theme song.
Garth Brooks. Well, Austin's eyes glazed over about 10 minutes ago, so we'll probably cut this section of
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. But any predictions for Hembree in 2025?
I
What's
think
the plan?
we're going country. But do we want to get into our, I guess, like almost like the Grammys here to close out the year? What are we picking for album of the year?
Each of us, or we have to decide.
One vote. Well, no, here's what we can do. We will all pick one, and we can maybe have people vote on the album that we picked. Yeah, so we'll bring it up, and then maybe we can make a poll of the 4 albums that we choose, and we will have our audience, our Hembrios,
There you go.
pick album of the year. Let's do it. All right, are we ready?
In 2024, here's the top 4 records of the year.
Alex, what do you got?
Challenger's soundtrack. Trent Reznor, Atticus Ross, specifically the Boys Noise mix.
Y2K soundtrack.
Yellowstone soundtrack.
Starting off hot with a soundtrack.
I'm going Post-Sex Nachos Primavera, produced by me. I want to win this Grammy.
Oh, wow. Power move. I'm going to go with Prelude to Ecstasy by The Last Dinner Party. That is definitely the one I've probably listened to the most. Just a very fun rock album that feels like a rock and roll band. Rock and roll's back, baby.
Rock and roll is back. My best album of the year would be Idles, Tank, which rock and roll at its finest. Rock and roll is definitely back in fine form. And I think a thing that I've noticed with all these rock bands that are now existing is that they actually have stuff to say. It's not just an album to be an album or a song to be a song. The lyrics actually are full of important content, and they are standing for things, which I think was lost in music for a long time.
Yeah, they teach you how to do algebra, actually.
Exactly. So like, Idol's a good example where they will speak their mind on stage and they will let you know what they believe in, which I think is very important in this day and age.
And somewhat alienating probably to the audience in Orange County when we saw them at the
sure,
Festival.
which is great. It's like, then get the fuck out.
Yeah.
So it's important, I think, for people and artists to take their positions on things because we need more of that.
I vote for Idles Tank.
I was going to say Alex was going to vote for Idols. Austin's voted for Idols. Idols is your record of the year.
Hey, let the people decide. When the people
vote.
get to choose, they generally make the right choice,
That's
right?
true. That's true. Yeah. One thing we can do in America is trust the people to make the right choice on Album of the Year.
Happy New Year. We'll see you in 2025.
Yeah, great year, boys.
Rock's back, baby.
Rock is back, baby.
100% music.